Is your personal boat?
I don't believe so. I think mine sits lower to the water. Start out with the best we have here in Michigan City, and that's, of course, Washington Park and our lakefront.
You got a beautiful day for it. This is like an ideal summer day. 80 degrees, bright sunshine, waning days of summer, so everybody's probably wanting to get out and enjoy this weekend coming up.
Been a lot of improvements over the last 5.5 years, Chris.
So you're coming across the bridge, beautiful view of the harbor here.
Right, and heading into Washington Park, of course, the Port Authority and our harbor, and everything is located adjacent to Washington Park here. So it's kind of a lot of collaboration that goes on between the Michigan City Park and the Michigan City Port Authority. And of course, here I'll have to tell these attendants, since how you doing? I'm Mayor Meer, and we're out taking a tour here of the city. So, okay. All right. Thank you, ladies.
Thanks
all
for
right,
having
take care.
us.
Yep. Bye-bye. Forgot you didn't have a Michigan City Park sticker to get into Washington Park here.
Well, luckily I'm with the mayor.
That helped.
Get a pass.
It helps sometimes. So, and here's our new pavilion. It's just over a year old. This is just over a $3 million investment into our lakefront, and of course now there's a restaurant facility, and you can sit up on the upper decks in the evening enjoying beautiful sunsets with the Chicago skyline in the background. It just is extremely well attended. You know, it used to be a time in Michigan City where only around the holidays was our beaches and lakefront packed. Every weekend and many weekdays, you'll see, you know, hundreds, maybe thousands of people down here utilizing the beach. Of course, we have volleyball. There's our lifeguard tower, where
I've been out here with my daughter for a sand soccer
tournaments. Yeah,
it's packed.
And sometimes you have, like you say, multiple events going on, Chris, and so those are great times. And you know, parking has began to be an issue even for us sometimes, where we've, you know, got to go to overflow lots and things like that.
Nice problem to have, though, in terms of a parking issue.
Yeah.
If you're going to have all these people out here, that's a good challenge to have.
And as you can see, a lot of Northwest Indiana communities have some beach, but we have a lot of beach. You know, a couple miles worth of beach access here for people. And we've lost a little bit with Lake Michigan levels coming up, but still a lot of beachfront for us. And you know, it's beautiful down here today. There's our Lighthouse, and
probably the most photographed venue in all of Northwest Indiana.
We're talking Friday morning. You know, there's a few people starting to come out to the beach. It was a little cloudy, overcast earlier. And then the Michigan City Port Authority, and we have, you know, thousands of boats that are moored here. They, like I say, once again, work very closely with the Michigan City Park Department.
I'm going to pull up just to get a good, nice view on the outside camera.
Okay.
I'm not going to head into the
No, we're not going.
This isn't an amphibious vehicle, don't worry.
The smaller boat launch is here, but we have our main boat launches down on Trail Creek Marina.
And this is ultimately, your beachfront is really your biggest welcome spot for everybody in the city in terms of introducing people to what Michigan City offers. It's probably the single biggest attraction to get them to come to the city in the first place.
It is a gigantic draw, obviously, is the lakefront and things that we offer down here, charter fishing, things like that, also here at the Port Authority. But, I mean, you're right near the outlet malls. You're right here by Blue Chip Casino, which is all within walking distance of our lakefront. A lot of cities don't have their own zoo and manage the zoo and things like that. And the city of Michigan City actually does run our own zoo. So it's a city department under the park department.
And what's the history of the zoo? How did the city become to own a zoo?
Well, I believe it also started in the 1930s during the WPA projects and things, and so that's when the zoo was initially built and some animals were brought in, and as you can imagine, it has evolved through the years.
What are some of the unique challenges of owning a zoo? I don't think there's any other mayor in Northwest Indiana that has one.
I don't know if they actually own one. They may have a zoo in their community, but whether they actually are the... Well, I mean, it's a 365-day-a-year obligation, and we have some very dedicated personnel that work in there. because the animals need to be fed and taken care of, and veterinarian issues that have to happen. And so I think the commitment there is, no matter what the weather is, no matter what the conditions are, we've got to get our personnel in to tend to the animals. And you know, the community really enjoys it. It is unique, and it has its unique challenges. This is the old Fetters Alley. You have the lake on our left here, and this is all more beach access for the public and for visitors and residents. To our right is Bismarck Hill, which is a very large dune, still covered with vegetation and trees, but it's still a very, very large sand dune. And this area, Fetters Alley, particularly on the holidays and weekends, is really utilized for a lot of picnicking and volleyball games.
You see people grilling out.
A lot of people, like you say, you see biking, relaxing. This is walking their dogs, jogging and things, so it's a very relaxing area.
It's a community that likes to get out.
They do. And a lot of these, like these old concrete benches here, are historic from that WPA era, so there's still, and that's some of the things we're trying to restore, making an effort to it. So, I mean, you're looking at things that are 80, 90 years old, which are still utilized.
So constantly bringing in things that are new, but actually respecting some of the historical things that have always been there.
We go around the curve, Lubeznik Arts Center, which puts on a lot of different events in our community, great partner.
One of the hallmark cultural institutions in the region.
Absolutely. So we'll cross down and then we'll take you through the Uptown Art District.
You've recently, just this summer, approved the downtown dining liquor licenses. That gives an opportunity to even expand what you're doing on the restaurant side down here downtown.
Right, and we found that some of the long-term existing restaurants are feeding off of this, because with the volume of people that are coming in because of new restaurants are actually identifying some of the old established restaurants. Of course, this is the Uptown Art District parking lot for our the Art Lofts apartments, Artspace, known as Artspace, and that's in the older Warren building there.
That was a massive milestone a year or two ago.
Yeah, we hang a left here on Franklin Street in the downtown area. You'll see some of our art sculptures and things which we rotate out. But you're absolutely right. Artspace was a very large project, which we'll be just going past. Just over $13 million in a restoration, which is fully occupied with commercial on the lower level here. And like I said, there's actually a waiting list to get in there. And so that's really helped us in bringing back our downtown. It's one of the main pedestals of what's going on. And there was a time where many of these buildings and storefronts you're going through here were vacant, where I would say 90% of Michigan City's downtown is now thriving, of the buildings and the office fronts.
And you got a great mix. I mean, you got some commercial offices in here. You got an awful lot of retail shops, art galleries. You got obviously an abundance of restaurants and new ones coming in all the time. But you got a good mix. It's not just restaurants or it's not just commercial.
And it's great too to see a lot of people down here, but having parking issues now. Sometimes you have to park a couple blocks away from your destination, where that wasn't a problem, like I say, 6-8 years ago. Public health and safety is really crucial to my administration, and is very important because of all the investment and things that you put into a community. You got to feel safe, you got to be safe, and so that's very crucial. There's one of our officers, and so what they did, the police administration came to me early on, Chris, and asked could they have a public park for the children in the background, in the back parking lot, basically, of the police facility. And so what you see here is a basketball court, playground for the youth. We have a sledding hill for in the wintertime, quarter-mile walking trail for parents that want to come in, and this is a state-of-the-art facility. It's probably one of the finest law enforcement facilities right now in the state of Indiana.
But this is a part of an effort to actually make the police a lot more approachable.
Yes.
From the community.
And they actually
not just to build a playground, but actually to connect it to the police department, so these kids know that they're welcome here.
That's a great point. And as we work on community police relations, some of our officers come out and play basketball a little bit with the kids or mingle, and we have a lot of other community outreach that we do. But that's very important that the interaction with the public, with police officers and law enforcement, isn't just when they're called to their neighborhood because there's a problem. So I might add that at the Michigan City Police Department, we added beyond the playground and the community playground area, but also a community room inside the Michigan City that the neighborhood associations and various groups can utilize for meetings, or if they want to have a community meeting with law enforcement to discuss things that might be going on in their neighborhood that they have concerns with.
People probably don't necessarily understand really the comprehensive scope of Michigan City in terms of how big it is. They think of it a little bit more like the North End, or they think of it a little bit like Uptown Arts District, the beach area. But in terms of contiguous space, you have a big city to look after.
It is. It is a lot of square footage, and as you look at, we have two interchanges off of I-94. So you have the Michigan Boulevard interchange here that we're on now, and you have the 421, which we're going to head out to in a little while. There's
Kohl's over to the left. That was a big development in that shopping area. You see a lot of this other stuff developing.
That was a cavity for many years in Michigan City. There was basically just empty buildings. Kmart had been there at one point. And so we were able to redevelop that. That's now a thriving center again. Kohl's is in there. We got a Sonic's, I believe, was the first.
That was big news.
Sonic's restaurant, first one in Northwest Indiana, as I understand. And as you can see, we have a lot of restaurants, Starbucks, Shoop's, a lot of private sector type restaurants down this way. Patrick's,
great place.
Patrick's a favorite here in Michigan City. But pretty much through this entire corridor, I mean, you look at Meer and Walmart and Lowe's and Red Lobster, just a lot of volume of restaurants and commercial store opportunities. We have the Big R, and this will go all the way to the corridor here. The medical industry is a big industry, so it was a big deal to have Franciscan Alliance reestablish themselves here with a $230 million investment in the Franciscan Alliance Michigan City facility. And they still have their existing campus here that we're going to probably multi-use in some other medical and other facilities there that they'll continue to utilize. And so just west of this interchange is where the $230 million investment by Franciscan Alliance is occurring. And that is going to be open, I believe, in August of 2018, that new facility right there. And that's got hundreds of construction workers are now working on that project, so that's employment opportunities. And it's going to be great for our community to have the most modern, state-of-the-art medical facility right here in Michigan City. That's another enhancement as people look to relocate here to live. It's amazing how many compliments we'll get from tourists who are just traveling through that interchange, who, particularly veterans, that will email us or give us a call and say, I just want to thank your city for putting up those American flag. I think I first got that concept when I was traveling, and I seen 4 of them off of a highway in Iowa.
Said I want to bring that home.
And I said if I ever had the opportunity, and if we ever do any renovation at the other interchange at Michigan Boulevard, I think I'll consider doing that also. Of course, we're right near the Blue Chip Casino now facility, which there's their hotel in front of us.
Tell me a little bit about the impact that Blue Chip has made.
Well, they're coming up on their 20-year anniversary. We've been able to do a lot of infrastructure projects, when you talk about streets, sidewalk. But besides infrastructure work, when you talk about storm sewers, streets, sidewalks, we've built police stations, fire stations. We've bought police vehicles, street department vehicles, fire trucks. We now have the Michigan City Promise Scholarship, which is crucial. Yeah, I mean, for Michigan City residents, up to $5,000 a year for 4 years. So we really see that as something that's stabilizing our population. It's great perspective, and we covered a little bit of Michigan City, but it would take hours for us to go through all the little pocket parks and fishing areas and things of that nature. But thank you again too, Chris.
Maybe that's for the next episode.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.